Like to welcome you all to the brand new month. Welcome to July 1st for those of you on the east side of the world. Those of you on the west, you're still in June. So today for you, it is Monday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for those joining us in the west. But over here in the east, we're already in a new month of July. So we expect July to be a great month, right? Right, Hunter? It's going to be a good month, isn't it?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Anyway, so thank you for coming to another one of our co-founder trainings. And I just got done playing a series of videos. All of them are on the Bitcoin AX YouTube channel. So slash pull funding. And I've had that channel for a long, long time, much longer than the existence of pull funding. So it's been there, but the only thing on there is pull funding videos. And starting about a year and a half ago, that's when we started uploading videos to the channel there. All right. Well, we've got quite a few people here. I see some names I don't recognize, so that's good. So that means we got some new people coming in. I love that. And you're in the right place. So this is a time for training. Let me go ahead and update you on a couple of things. First of all, congratulations to all of you. I thought we'd have more trouble in the transition from me doing refunds to you guys doing the refunds when it comes to sponsors that fail to make their payment on time, and then the referrals make their payment and it goes up. Now it's not coming to me anymore. It's actually coming to the next active sponsor above you. And so far the reports I've been getting is you guys have been able to, keep track of that, keep up with that, and that's good. So I hope that continues to be the case ongoing. And I definitely wanted to have that piece of the development, basically isolated as, its own little upgrade because we got some massive upgrades coming anyway. So let me tell you about that. Coming very soon, we'll have a PDF that will give you instructions what to expect. We'll put that out on the website, and we'll make sure people get familiar with what's about to happen. But I've been referring to this as the one-click sign-up process. Basically, it'll allow people to sign up using Google, or they could sign up using Facebook, and just use that those existing accounts as a way to register and get an account with Pull Funding. So it only takes a few seconds to sign up. So in fact, let me show you. We've got a landing page that's going to go along with this. So let me just kind of show you what that looks like when a person goes to sign up. Your referral link will lead to a landing page, something like this here. Let me find it real quick. My zooms in the way. Okay. So like this is the landing page here. So when join now, and then um, you'll see here that so there's a couple places they can click to get started, right? Join, and then they can watch a brief video here. So all that should look familiar, and it should make it easy. Just when you share your referral link, this is where it's going to go, and this will also make it much easier for us to fill orders as well. And everything is kind of the current theme of with our giveaways. So we're excited about that. Uh, it's gonna when you go to make your payments, it's gonna take your picture. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's not something you have to pose for. It'll just click through, right? And you'll you'll see. But that's gonna be a little bit of a change. Um, Maybe as an old member logging in for the first time when the change takes place, it might be a little different. So that's why we're going to give you a PDF to help you prepare for the changes that are going to come. We are going to have our executive team testing this out very, very soon. So really close to, that stage. I've seen the development progress over time. The latest part of it is the picture taking. And guys, well, Hunter, why do we take pictures?
We take pictures to compare them to the picture you took when you got verified.
Why?
And that's number one, and to make sure that you are in fact the person who has that account and you just have that one account.
That's the key right there. One account per person, guys. Okay. We've got a problem. If you've noticed, we've kind of isolated PFS, okay, pool funding silver, the coin. Let me share my screen. We've been doing a verification process for well over a month now. I'm sorry, this Zoom thing always sits in the wrong place, and I have to click it and click it again. Okay. So we have isolated the PFS coin, okay? So we're suggesting don't buy right now. Just let it be. Let the sellers who are, keen on selling, let them sell for cheap, okay? Let them out cheap, because this is the wrong time to be selling, guys. But anybody who wants to sell might as well sell while it's cheap. On the other hand, what this does for you is those of you accumulating rewards in the $100 pool, your rewards are accumulating much faster. You're getting bigger rewards. If I go to the last page here, I guess that's not the one I want. I want to receive PF. Okay, go to the last page here. So you can take a look here. 71 0.02. Well, that's way better than a 009, right? Like you see up here. And so obviously, you're accumulating coins much faster in the distribution, which is a good thing. And that's really how you need to see it when we don't get the cooperation that we're asking for, right? We have asked that people don't sell, but people have sold anyway. But out of the top 100 people holding PFS, 61, 61 we have identified as people that we know who they are. We have their username, but we don't, they have failed to go through verification. They have not verified. Okay. So that tells me that we're probably dealing with someone or a couple of people who have multiple accounts. You know who you are. And so we've isolated PFS as a coin that we're not promoting as one to buy into at this time. Now the others, feel free to buy. Hey, we got discounts on all our coins right now, Hunter. Right? Discounts across the board.
Yep,
Right?
all the coins are still on sale.
Yeah, big time. And we have a lot more potential for upward mobility on the other three coins because just how everything because of the supply and demand, really. It comes down to supply and demand. And so we expect that we're gonna get to where we want to go. We have our price targets. Okay, that hasn't changed. We are gathering with the whales. I'm meeting with whales one-on-one. We're discussing multiple things because I definitely see some lemons here. And Hunter, what do I do with lemons?
Turn them into lemonade.
That's what I do. I turn lemons into lemonade. So I'm not going to let a lemon go without turning into lemonade. So I do see some situations that require the attention of someone that can master the skill of turning lemons into lemonade, which that's me. And I'm talking with the wells. Okay. So if you are well and you're not talking to me, that's your choice, not mine. I'd rather be talking to you. So you should be reaching out to me, right? So reach out to me on Telegram, Bitcoin Ace 101. That's how you get me on Telegram. Best way to get a hold of me is Telegram. So Yeah, several of you are super wells, right? So meaning that you're a well in all four of the coins, and that's great. Some of you want to be super wells, you're almost there. You're like a well in three of the four, and working towards that. So the group of people that we're calling wells is actually getting smaller, not bigger. Okay, because people are taking up spots in multiple coins. And that's great. That's as it should be. And ultimately, it is the wells that are going to be really with me shoulder to shoulder, steering this whole ship in the right direction where we want to head long term. And I want to use that word long term. I think one of the biggest problems we have inside of the pool funding community at large, if we take the thousands of people that are part of pool funding, far too many have the short-term, point of view. In other words, they're only seeing about that far out, right? You know, I mean, how far is that? A month away, 2 months away? It's good to have, an idea where things are and where things can be in a month or two. That's good. But it's not the final destination, okay? Because pool funding wasn't designed to be here for a few months or a year or so and then gone. Now I know a lot of opportunities out there are specifically created and designed to evaporate almost the moment that it starts to get going, you know, and call them rug pulls or call them burns or a lot of names you could give that, right? But most of your opportunities out there, they're not good. They're not trying to really make a difference. Pool funding, we have all the earmarks of something that is here for the long run. Okay. The fact that you're looking at the same guy here for over a year and a half, soon we'll be talking about 2 years, me being here, as the creator and founder. And, also I'm looking forward. The thing I'm most excited about is the testimonials, the cash flow income testimonials. That's what I want to start bringing into the light. Some of you are cash flowing. It'd be nice that we get that kind of out in the front. People can see that there are people cash flowing, right? Because that's where our attention needs to be. And like the video I played before starting the recording today, it talked about if our attention is on wealth creation, that tends to promote selling, right? If you put your attention on wealth creation, that kind of creates itchy fingers for people where they want to sell, right? It's much better that our attention really is focused on cash flow and just let wealth creation happen as a result, right? So that's really the proper order of things. And this will take care of itself as long as we do a good job on creating cash flow, not just at large, but also at the individual level. And I would even go as far as to say that our attention should be how quickly can we create cash flow for brand new people. Okay. So if we can, that will really inspire everyone. Would you guys agree with me on that statement? That if we can create cash flow for brand new people and we do it quickly for them, right? That would inspire confidence and inspire, a lot of, goodwill throughout the organization. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%.
And explosive growth as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like to show off the little chart here thing, that I made the other day. Share screen. I think I've got it handy here still. Where did I put it? Maybe it's over here. That's one. There it is. So this one right here, it's really quite amazing how exponential numbers actually grow, right? A lot of people were surprised when they saw this for the first time. But like two, it only takes 33 generations of two to basically hit the world population. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty quick when you think about 248, how fast it gets to 8.5 billion people. 3, it only takes 21 generations to reach there. 5 only takes 15 generations to reach there, and 10 only takes 10 generations. 10 who get 10 who get 10. And then you got, you've consumed the world population in just 10 levels there. So exponential growth, right? Getting into the million mark, right? Right here's the million mark, right here's the million mark, over here's the million mark. Look how fast 5x5 turns into a million people. Okay. Really fast. And even faster on 10, of course, So exponential growth is powerful. And that's what we want to create. And making sure that people are earning. And let's not forget, $11 a day, it might sound like a small amount because a lot of us think in terms like, well, I spent $11 on my coffee today at the Starbucks, So you just kind of like may not think it's that much money. But when it's coming in, okay, to you, right? It's one thing when it goes out, but when it's coming in to you and you're coming in every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, after a year, that works out to be over $4,000 per year. Okay. $11. So if you've got two people that are, basically they're past their 8 days, right? They finished up their 777 and now they're 8 days or longer. At that point, they should be sending you 111 and you should be sending back 100 to them. You keep the difference, which is $11, right? And if you got two people that you're doing that with, then your positive cash flow is 4,000 a year. Okay, because the first person is going to help you break even, so you got to send that up to your sponsor to stay active, right? The second person is cash flow. The third person is cash flow, so on and so on and so on. And it doesn't stop there because you can also scale up from there to the higher pools, which is kind of the whole point. $11 is great, but at some point that will scale up to the point where you don't have to send back $100 every day. And at that point, you're keeping the entire 111 that comes up, right? If you have two of those, now you're talking about $4,000 per month from just, two people, right? In positive cash flow, right? Two people that have scaled up to that level and so on. So the scaling here goes on and on. You've all seen this, like this one picture, this one image basically sums up pool funding in a single snapshot. Okay. So save and scale up. We got our 4 pools, and that's how pool funding works in a single image. Okay. So that's where our attention needs to go. And then our coins, they should be growing in the background. They should be actually increasing in value. We have 3 stages. Okay, we got price target in stage 1. So we got to hit our initial price target. Okay. There's more than one option, guys. There's more than one way to get there, by the way, of how we can get to our first price target. So I am talking to the Wells about more than one way to do that, because we could probably do that. Yeah, either way, by August, no matter what, there's a way. And then there's then the next step is price stability. Okay, price stability is really a factor of enough frequency of payments that are positive coming in. Okay, that's why we want to encourage everyone. Imagine exponential growth, and people are in the habit of all buying $1 worth of coin every day. Okay, just everybody does that, right? If everybody does that, that would help us establish price stability. Okay. And then from there, stage 3 is economic development. So that's something in the fall. Obviously, we'll be probably rolling out our marketplace, at least the version 1 of it, and start doing economic development where people can purchase goods and services using their pool funding coins to do so inside of our marketplace. Okay, that we put on our website. So this is all part of a vision. See, the vision has to be expanded past a month, past 2 months. This short-term thing, this right here is a very bad thing for pool funding. Okay. If you notice it in somebody else that's inside of pool funding, that they're looking at it like this, okay, help them push that out. Okay. Help them see the longer vision here. You know, when I'm talking about the benefits to the wells, for example, I'm talking about a 20-year scope. I see a 20-year benefit plan for the wells that's worth $100 million over the course of 20 years. It'll add up every year, it'll add up more and more. And then at the end of 20 years, you know, the value I'm certain will be over $100 million per well, is just for being one. All expense paid trips, all expense paid flights, all expense paid everything. You know, basically the red carpet treatment everywhere they go, everything paid for, right? And plus, on top of that, every potential bonus, perk, benefit, anything we can come up with, you know, the wells are going to get it first. You know, they're going to get the best of the best. The well treatment, okay? So it pays to be a well. For now, you can become a well for $500. That's the current offer right now. So snatch that up while you can, because right in that last video that I showed you, it mentioned that the next offer won't be 500. It's going to be $1,000 for the same deal. So take advantage of it now, $500. Take advantage of it, you know, a month from now, probably looking at $1,000, you know, for the same deal. So yeah, take advantage of that now. This is the way to look at pool funding, is look at through the longer lens, the longer view, because ultimately this is what we're trying to do in the world. Okay. There's a combination of things that we want to create together. Because I'm one person, I can come up with ideas, I can, you know, command and control an operation, have programmers and such doing work for me, whatever, and build stuff like that. But ultimately, what are we really trying to do here together? Well, first of all, there's a humongous need in the world for cash flow, daily cash flow, real daily cash flow from sincere, real opportunity, right? Unlike so many of these things that are not out there in the world. And a lot of people are frustrated with that. And I understand. I get it. I'd be, you know, I can relate to that feeling of frustration. But we're the real deal. And there's a need for cash flow, and we offer that. Okay. In fact, we're so good at offering it that we give you 100% commission. Go look around and see how many 100% commission deals are out there. Not that many. In addition to that, it's instantly paid. So it's one thing to get 100% commission, but then to add to it that you get it instantly, you don't have to actually say, please, company, send me my money, you know. You know, you don't have to do that. That's also a very rare thing. Okay. So, and the fact that you can take the same referral and scale them into larger size opportunities, which is basically our 4 different pools. We got the $1 pool, the $10, the $100, and the $1,000 pool. And take the exact same referral with you and scale them up into the higher pools to get bigger money. So that means you don't have to have a lot of referrals in order to get big money coming in cash flow wise regularly. So this is the power of what we're offering. And in return, the way we make all this possible is that I've created some coin. Okay, let's face it, the coin would have no value without a community. You guys agree with that statement? Without a community, what value do the coins have?
0.
Right? It's all about community, isn't it? So basically, I've created these coins, okay? And I've allowed you guys to come in, and through our website, you can sell these coins without having to buy them. So that's unusual, okay? In especially in the crypto space. Usually, if you're going to sell something in the crypto space, you have to buy it first, okay? Then you can sell it, okay? That's usually how it works. Am I right about that? What do you think, Hunter? You've been around the crypto space for a while. We're kind of
Yep,
different, aren't we, that
that's
way, right?
We're very different, very,
Yeah.
very much different from what you usually see out there.
And so what's the point? What's the point of doing this? And what's the point of offering a $777 giveaway and then another $3,000 a month giveaway to get people's attention? Take a close look at what we're doing. Jump on in. We're not asking for much. Even just one referral can move you up into the $3,000 a month giveaway. Why are we doing all that? Because we're not playing the short game. Okay? We're not here to take your money and run away with it. Okay? That's what a lot of others are doing. That's not what we're doing. We're here playing the long game. Why? Why are we interested in a long game anyway? Okay. So yes, everybody needs the cash flow and we need it for a lifetime. So that's for sure one of the reasons. Okay. Another reason is, hey, there's people constantly, going to be in debt. There's people dealing with debt, huge amounts of debt, thousands of dollars, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, it doesn't matter, it comes in all different sizes, but people have debt, and that's probably going to be an ongoing issue for many years to come, decades to come. I don't think that's going to go away. So we can help give people debt relief on a long-term basis. Again, that scope, long-term vision. We want people to understand that we're here for the long run to help people get out of debt. There's a big need there. Okay. So we don't have a shortage of people to talk to, you guys. There's plenty of people looking for cash flow, and there's plenty of people looking for a way to get out of debt. And in addition to that, there's plenty of people looking for a way to spruce up their retirement plans and make that better. Okay. There's people that are actually in the middle of their retirement wishing it was already better. Okay. So, you know, there's going to be an ongoing need there. And so there's that. And that's the financial side of what we're talking about. Okay. There's always going to be that strong financial need, and we're here to help meet that. And but in addition to that, kind of along the same lines as financial, there's things that we want. There's things that, if you get a group of people together, we're gonna say we want this and we want that. Okay. We call that collective bargaining power. Okay. Well, we have to be a collective in order to get that. Okay. Which collectives, these are not, 50 people. Okay. Right. We're looking at larger number than that. So when we have a much larger group of people that say they want something, and then we can go out there and actually get it and get it at a better price point, get it at a value offer, right? A true value offer. Maybe have exclusivity. There's just things that we can do when it comes to collective bargaining. Okay. And I think that this could actually be geopolitical. Imagine that it's not just in commerce or business where we have this collective bargaining power, but imagine even that it spills into geopolitics, where like we start to have a say about, the way things are being run in the world, right? We start to have a voice because we're a large group of people coming together with a voice and saying, we don't, we look at things together. And there's things that are like, they don't make sense. And if there's a big group of people saying that don't make sense, that does get the attention of people that could do something about it. Okay. And so, yeah, we could definitely make an impact there. So that collective bargaining power is huge. Okay. It's huge. And then ultimately, we want a better world. Okay. We want a world where we can live our lives in a way that is peaceful, abundant. We have opportunities to fully express our love. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to fully express something, let it be love. Okay. Right. When you fully express something like fear, it turns out not such a fun place to live. Okay. Think about that. Think of the contrast between love and fear when it's fully expressed, right? And I want to tell you, pool funding is about that too. Pool funding is about the expression, and we want our guides to be love and respect. Okay, that should be what guides us. I still see fear in the community. I still see fear within myself. Okay, so we have work to do, don't we, on reforming that and shaping that, and bringing it out into where the strength of love is overpowers everything, and then we have a lot less of the other. Okay, that's the world I want to live in. I want to live in a world where it's just easy to shine bright, and and where love is the name of the game. That's the world. We can create that together. See, the bigger we get, the better we are. So with strong offers like a first the 777 offer, which just one person, you can move from 7,700 to a $3,000 a month, right? And then within 8 days, the person that did the inviting, they should be compensated then $11 a day from that point forward with that person. And then they go get another person and another person. There's no limit to the number of referrals each one of you can go get. And there's no limit to how many of them you can climb up with you in the different pools and get those rewards. And so all I can say is that the early bird does get the worm. Those of you that are in now, part of this now, you're right at the very beginning of it all, right? Yeah. And then there's going to be some of you who, look, maybe on the business side of things, that's not where you're going to grow, right? But some of you have come in as the investors, right? And I'm here to tell you, your investments are going to pay off down the road, right? But they're going to pay big, okay? They're going to pay big, really big. So even if that's where you're sitting, and even on the business side of things, maybe that's not going to fit for you for one reason or another. That's going to be okay for you too. Okay. So there's room for everyone here. And it doesn't really matter. You're going to get and participate what makes the most sense for you. And we're dealing with, a whole rainbow of different kinds of people here. Just even listening to my voice right now on the Zoom call, there's the whole range of you from different points of view and backgrounds and everything else. So respect to all of you. Okay. All of you deserve it. And all of you are getting my best way of presenting respect to you. Okay. I'm here for the long run. I've been through a lot of battles with pool funding, but pool funding has not been a battle-free zone for me. Okay. I've been through multiple battles. It's it's not easy to sit in the chair of a creator like this, with someone that intends to do something for the long run. It's not easy. Okay. But I'm here and I'm doing it. And even though it might not be easy, I'm loving every minute of it, Even on my bad days, I'm loving it. Okay. So, realize that this is my chance to express myself, and I want to make a difference in the world. And this is how I decided to create. And maybe I can inspire each of you to find that creator within each of you and create your own thing as well. Let pool funding be a resource to help maybe pay for it or give you the connections you need to go build and create something of your own, because I think we all have that gift to create, in some way within all of us, So and when we open up the marketplace, I think we're gonna see that come out, right? Big time. The marketplace, I'm excited to bring that out in the fall. So in summary, guys, we got a great deal here. Okay. Let's just teach our community, help me out. Okay. Let's teach our community to bring the view out a little further than it is right now. Too many people are like this, and it's a little annoying from where I sit. Okay. I see that. It's like, don't you understand, what we're doing here? This is meant to be good for you, not just in the short run, but, it's supposed to be helpful to you in the short run, but also it's supposed to be like, I mean, I feel like we're going to save people through this. People are going to get saved through pool funding. So, Hunter, any words you want to share on that rant? I'm done with my rant today.
It's just one of the things I usually say, from little acorns to mighty oaks grow.
All right. That's classic for sure. So there you go. In some days I look at myself like a gardener, what I'm saying, and each one of you, are part of my garden. I'm growing people, I'm growing relationships that will be fruitful and mutually beneficial, right? So yeah. So that's how I look at all of you. All of you are, important to me. And you, again, different flavors, right? So I accept all of you for the way you are. All right.
Goes both ways, Ace.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Hunter. Okay. So at this point, I'm open to, dialogue with those of you. I've finished my rant, so you guys can, comment or inquire, whatever you'd like to do. We can do that now for the next couple of minutes. What did you guys get out of training today? Am I missing something?
That you can't serve two masters. And the
Yeah.
masters being love and hate. You gotta choose one or the other. And we all know what each one does. One adds, one subtracts. Fear paralyzes, and love blossoms.
You're right. I appreciate you recognizing that, Willie Dale. So yeah, and some people think that love and hate are the opposites, but technically it's love and fear. If you want to get, hate is actually a derivative of fear, right? Just like kindness is a derivative of love, right? So, but yeah, and when you get to the point where you start to recognize that fear is a terrible master, I mean, I'll be honest with you, having dealt with fear much of my life from the very beginning till even now, having seen it and dealt with it as a, real thing, it's very convincing. Okay. Fear can be very convincing that it's important,
Yeah.
right? That it matters to you. But you just have to get to the point where you have to start calling it out and say, lie, lie. Fear's a liar. You lie, lie, lie. So yeah, that's the thing is that fear will lie to you, tell you it's there to make your life better. But yeah, I mean, we're not going to do stupid stuff, right? I mean, there's no need to be like, um, you know, step off a cliff or something like that because you're not afraid. Well, yeah, that'd be stupid, right? So I really don't call that fear. I just call that something else. But yeah, love would keep you away from the edge anyway. Like you would recognize that you're not meant to be there over there next to the edge of a cliff. But yeah, putting our focus on love and finding ways to help other people feel it, that's important. So it's one thing for you to feel it, but another thing if you can express yourself in a way that actually other people feel that you love them. And that makes a huge difference. I mean, priceless. It falls in that category. Okay, thanks for your input, Willie. Appreciate that. Anybody else?
I have a question.
Sure, Mary, go ahead.
You talking about the marketplace.
Yeah.
Are you talking about like financial marketplace, meaning like,
Talking like a store, like Amazon is a store, right?
uh-huh.
So think of Amazon like a marketplace. Look at all the products and services you can pick up through Amazon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're
Yeah,
going to have
so that's
our website's going to have products and services too, and you guys are going to be the ones offering those things, right? I'll probably throw some things in there too, but it'll be all of us contributing products and services to the marketplace, right? And then
like
that makes sense?
like a TikTok shop, that kind of thing. Or,
Okay,
know,
I don't know what that is, but yeah, I mean, if it's a
well,
shop,
TikTok, you could go online and you could buy stuff online that's why I'm asking. I'm just trying
well, it's good
to,
that you asked them because
yeah.
if you're
Mhm.
asking the question, other people are thinking it and they're thinking the question, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what we're
So,
talking about is a place to pick up products and services using pool funding coins to pay for them.
okay. So like you wouldn't like be attached to Amazon. You would start your own store.
Correct. It'd be
All right.
it'd be the pool funding. Instead of calling it a store,
Amazon.
pool funding
Yeah.
marketplace, right? Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely see your vision. It's not for a lack of me not seeing your vision. It's I feel like I need to be I don't want to say taught, but directed on how to get people to see this because I've introduced so many people to different things in the past that flopped.
Sure.
And this is my fear. All right.
Yeah.
This is my fear. Them going, oh, come on. Are you kidding me? Not
Right.
another rug pull. And like, so I need to figure out how I can market this to people, like-minded people that will see the vision and not see, oh, I can make thousands of dollars in 3 months. Like that have the same vision. And I think that's for me where the challenge is. Like I'm okay with this being a long-term thing. I'm okay with that.
Good.
But like I feel like I can't hit my warm market again because
Yeah.
Well, no.
I mean,
it's
if we took a survey here, Mary, of people that felt the same way, probably, I know it's greater than 50%, but I'd go as far as it's probably closer to 70% of everybody listening to you and I talk feel exactly the same way you do right now, that their warm market has been torn up too much and you're not really comfortable talking to your warm market about anything, including pool funding, right? So,
right, because it'd be like,
yeah.
are you gullible? Are you for real? Like, how can you be
Yeah.
falling for another one of these, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, how do I reach people who, that will, actually see this vision? I see your vision. It's just like, how do I touch people that see your vision? And,
Right.
the reason why I brought up in the past that one documentary is it's not to get people that are really smart and that were on the video, but more like the people that followed the idea of
Yeah.
it,
You're referring
and
to Thrive, right?
right, like
Yeah.
because there was a big Thrive movement. So
Yeah.
not so much the people that were in the Thrive movie, or documentary, I should say,
Yeah.
but the people who were really
Yeah.
part of the movement.
It turned into a
Yeah,
full-blown movement. It was a
yeah.
huge success. Absolutely. And I think
So
I think
we
it's
need to
got
find those
potential
people.
to keep on going. Well, the thing is,
Right.
those people are, believe it or not, your neighbor right next to you, the cashier
Yeah.
at the 7-Eleven that you go to. I mean, those people are all around you, you know. So, so when it comes to your warm market, you have to look at it like an onion, okay? Like your warm market, it has like the people that, they have more like access to, um, let me just say your triggers, okay? Like your brothers and sisters, for example. If they start being all negative on you for some reason, you might be more triggered by what they have to say than, the substitute teacher at some school that you ran into, and randomly, and what they have to say doesn't trigger you as much because you don't really care about that relationship. That makes sense?
Mhm. Absolutely.
Okay, so you want to talk to the people that are outside of that first layer, the people that they know where your buttons are. You know what I'm saying? And you just don't want to give them a reason to push it, right? So, I get it. You can avoid those people. I get it, and
Mm-hmm.
I've learned from personal experience. It's sometimes good to avoid going there. But
Well, so then how would you give me an example of how you would start a conversation with somebody who you might have known, or, really not a friend more than a acquaintance? And like, hey, you want to, like, you don't just start a conversation about like, hey, do you need money? I mean, like,
yeah. Yeah, I've
you
got a
know what
lot
I
of
mean?
I got a lot of tricks up my sleeve in that regard, for sure, 100%.
Hmm.
I could share one or two,
Yeah,
Yeah,
because that's where I think I need a little bit more
yeah.
help. You know,
So let's
like
just
I
say,
don't know how to start a conversation.
let's just say that you're talking to someone that's outside of that initial layer. Okay. So we're not going to call
Hmm.
them warm market. We'll call them your associates, right? Because
Right.
we have our friends and
Hmm.
family, you know what I'm saying? And they're the ones that
Hmm.
you don't want to talk to because they,
At least not yet.
they're
You know what I mean?
their negativity is, is too painful, right?
Hmm.
So I get it. You can avoid that pain. You can go to the next layer, and that'd be you talk to people all the time, right? People that, they are part of your life, but you don't have like a relationship per se. You just have like an acquaintance. You're acquainted with
Right.
them. They're right.
Right.
They come in and out of your life once a month or a couple of times a month. Those people. You know what I'm talking about?
Hmm.
But every day
Yep.
you do run into those people. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. 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 So those are your opportunities. Okay. Those people, because they're random. They're just like every couple of days, you know, you got a new batch of them. So here's what you could say. Use the who do you know? Okay. I've used this a long time. I got this from Jim Ron, who's really good at this stuff. Okay. He passed this on to
Hmm.
me in my training a long time ago. Who do you know? That, right? Right. So that's a good one.
Who do you know that needs money? That
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Who do you know that would actually be interested in a giveaway? Actually
Oh,
receiving
okay.
money from a giveaway? Who do you know that would actually be interested in that? Who do you know? Right? That's a good one. Right?
Okay. I like that one.
That's a good one. So use the who do you
Hmm.
know one, and that works good. Um, Another one, who do you know that's actually looking for a way to make money online? Who do you know? Who do you know that they're actually looking for a way to make money online? Who do you know? Again, to those acquaintances, right? And so that's it. Just try to find a way to fit the who do you know that. Just try to, to something that applies to pool funding, right? You can do it from several different angles. But yeah, with our giveaway, we're very, very strong. Okay. Because ultimately, your referral link, this is where it's going, guys. Share it with you one more time. So just knowing that it's going to go here. Sorry, this thing Zoom's always in the way. It takes a few seconds to get where I want to go. So just knowing that this is where it's heading only takes seconds to join our business, right? Join now. All right. And then this should look familiar. That's right. We will pay you to join. That's unusual, right? Join now. As
What's the guesstimate? What's the guesstimate on this one touch, join button,
next
whatever?
week. Yeah, next week. So
Oh, okay.
this week will be testing, and next week we'll
Oh, well,
roll
that's very
coming up.
All right.
yeah, because I
So
think that's where it's really going to take off.
yeah, me too.
Hmm.
It's what's been holding us up, frankly, is the fact that getting people with the MetaMask, especially with that little red notification that they put on there on the MetaMask, for some stupid reason, just little
You
things
mean
like
like
that.
beware,
Yeah, yeah, you don't want to
Yeah.
sit there and go through a sign up process and explain why there's a beware thing from a third party that we're using. I mean, it's awkward.
Hmm.
I get it.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
yeah,
that's
yeah.
already happened to me. Yeah. Hmm.
And but hey, to me, I sign people up anyway. You know what I'm saying? I just do it, even though it makes me internally, I grit my teeth. but I don't show it to the person I'm signing up. I just like, oh, now click the little red thing. Okay, boom. Now let's go. Right. I just try to be not make a big deal out of it. But yeah, Maria, I'm Mary. I meant to say. Sorry, don't want to
That's
confuse you
right.
with my assistant, you know.
That's okay. We're good. We're good.
But Mary, yeah. So yeah, we appreciate you, the Jersey girls. You're not the only one now. You're not the only Jersey girl. We got more than one of you, right?
I know. Mhm.
But yeah,
All right.
good questions. Karen,
Who do you know? Who
you
do
got
you
your hand up too. So go ahead and what's on your mind, Karen? I'm glad to be
Well, I'm
interacting like this. This is good.
I'm going back to the landing page that you have there.
Yeah.
Is this something that we as individuals will be able to use, or is that what you are
That
using for the
no
paid
no no.
signups?
That's going to be everyone. So that's what the programmer set it up that way. So set it up that
So it
when
will be
you
on our website and then we can access it from there, or how is it going to link up to our referral
well
link?
let me show you right now. Okay, how it works. Okay, how it works right now is like this. Yeah, does this thing move? I went over to the left. My stuff I want to get to is on the right here. I'm going to click on that. Okay, right now it works like this. Okay, so if you go into your account page and you click on the my referral link, right? You click on the clipboard, you grab that, and you come over to a browser and you put it in. Okay. They get a form like this. Okay. So
Right.
that's what they get right now. Okay. So, but after the change is made, you won't have a form because it's like one click, right? So there's no point to a form, right? So it makes sense to start with some information, right? That's why we're transitioning away from that into that. So everybody's referral link will have this until we change it, right? But this is the theme we're going with. This is the current theme, is the 777 giveaway, right? So we're kind of, we're rolling with that. Later on, we'll probably add to it other themes and you can have a choice. But right now, like Ford said, what color do you want your Model T in? You can have it in any color as long as it's black. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
so it's gonna be like that when I'm rolling it out. But later we'll add different choices there. Just takes time, right?
Okay, so when they click the join now button, where will it take them eventually once it's up and running?
They click join now, then it says, okay, do you want to join with Google? Do you want to join with Facebook? Or you want to put your email in and join that way? So you got choices at that point. But it's basically
Oh, okay.
that's where the one click sign up takes place, is at that point, Yeah. And then on your page there'll be a new column that will say signups. So if they didn't pay, they're not a referral, right? So if they actually click and they joined with Google or joined with Facebook, then that turns into a sign up for you, right? And after they do that, then their profile does come up and they're encouraged to put some information in. So it does kind of go back to like a form where, but it's basically setting up their profile, right? And they can get their
Okay, and
profile done before they before they pay as well, but they'll have a wallet already, everything is done, or they can use MetaMask or any other wallet. They can use that as a way to sign up, right?
okay, so will if they decide to use MetaMask, is the connection going to be simple?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's going to be simpler than it has been.
Okay.
Yeah, the way it is
So
now.
once they
Yeah,
register with either Google or Facebook, they've got their account, they can set up their profile, and then it's just another couple of steps to get their wallet done up,
yeah, and
and they're good to
they're
go.
not limited on Google or Facebook. They also have other options. They can sign up using a wallet. It doesn't have to be MetaMask. It could be one of the others. There's more than one wallet. There's like over 60 of them, 60, to choose from. So they can use any one of those wallets to join, or they can join with their email, right? So they don't have only one choice. So, but But it'll probably be like a favored path. I don't know if that's going to be Google or Facebook. Probably Google. That's probably going to be the favored path is sign up using Google.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
So basically,
Yeah,
they're going through their Gmail address. Is that what you're saying?
that's right. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. Well, we're anxious for this to come into play.
Oh, well, you're not the only one that's anxious. I've been
Yeah.
anxious for a while too, but we
Oh,
were
I bet.
ready to a point at some point, and then I saw that it was going to be different enough for you guys. I need to give you guys a heads up. And then I wanted to add the picture taking thing, and then we had to set the whole thing aside for us to do something else because we had other stuff that came up. But yeah, we're back on it now. So yeah,
Good. Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome. Scott out of Thailand, how you doing, buddy? Your team's growing.
Yeah, it's not so bad. I just wondered, is that something that we might be able to integrate into, for example, Leads Leap?
Yeah, I think Leeds Leap could probably work in that direction where it goes there. You know, um, yeah,
I'm just
I'm
wondering how it would work with the autoresponder.
yeah, I mean I'm conflicted honestly. You can see me bouncing my eyes around in my head here because I'm going back and forth. I've got this little battle, the little fight happening. On one side of me is like, you never give out your referral link unless you know who you're giving it to, right? Right.
Yeah.
There's that part of me is like, you just don't want to, scatter your referral link out to the wind because you never know what's going to blow back in. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm still,
Mm.
and honestly, that part of me is the strongest side. In that battle, that's the one that won. Okay. Like, so to me, putting my referral link in a lead sleep, that's almost like putting it in the wind. I would much rather have them provide me a way of communicating, like a phone number, an email on Leads Leap, and then I could call them up or send them a text message or something and say, "Hey, you seem to be interested in what I'm doing," and then give them a referral link. That's to me the better way to
Sure,
go.
I mean that's what I mean though. But isn't that landing page though? If they're just signing up, what control do you have over that?
You,
Anybody
you,
can just
you,
click.
you don't as long if the thing is the only control you have is who you give it to. Because it's not like they're going to make it up and accidentally land on that page. I mean that if you
Yeah.
look at the link, it's got your wallet address in the back side of it, right? And that's not a random thing at all, right?
Because after the conversation you said about not throwing your link out, and I went back to my autoresponder and had a look what I had, and I did have my link in there, and I changed it all and just say get on a Zoom, because I don't want anybody joining me until I've had them on a Zoom.
Yeah,
So
that way you can make it clear, what the deal is, right? So
definitely, yeah. And also you're interviewing them, aren't you?
yeah,
To
yeah.
see whether they're actually worth taking on or not.
Well, there's that too.
Because we're in control.
Because
Yeah.
honestly, we're looking for co-founder material here. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we're definitely not. There's no need for us to scrape the bottom of the barrel to find people. For our great opportunity here. We should our site should be a little higher than that. Than the bottom of the barrel. So for sure. So to me, your referral link is something you give out to people that you already have, you know them enough that you feel comfortable giving it to them, right? But I've seen people take opportunities and then they just put their link, they attach their link to like a marketing piece, and then their links just scattered out there into the wind, and who knows how, and then they end up getting a bunch of random signups. But these are usually systems that promote the idea of set it and leave it, right? Like here's a system, just get a bunch of people that come in, bring the traffic, and then. But honestly, set it and leave it systems, they don't tend to provide ongoing cash flow on a lifetime basis. Okay, those campaigns are usually short. You get a little bit of money, but they don't last, and
Yeah,
pool funding
yeah.
is meant to last. We want the long-term relationship. So hope that clears up your question there, Scott. Back to you,
Okay,
Mary,
cool.
our Jersey girl. How you doing?
Yeah,
Okay, got your
this
hand
is
back up.
good. Yeah, this is my question. I remember you saying a couple of weeks back that you planned on making videos so that everybody understood what your vision was and they would have to accept and agree so
Yep.
that like so something you plan on doing that on this sign up, like, make it very clear to all new enrollees exactly what our vision is and what and they have to sign it and agree and agree.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah, so
and that's what you see me actually. It's not something I can get done in a day, but I get little pieces of it done each day. So let's take a look at what you're talking about here. Let me share my screen again. So ultimately, I'm building parts and pieces of something you could say is going to be part of a course, right?
mhm.
And I actually started a relationship with the Chat GPT over here. I don't know if you can see down there, but I'm thinking about using that as a tool to help me do this. But in addition to that, we have if you go, well, first of all, come here. Okay, right down here. The first thing we want is them to be signed off on the pool funding commitment, right? And here's all spelled out. Okay. That's the key number one, right? And everything should be just reinforced, what's said in the commitment here. But in addition to that, if you go to the YouTube channel, so the video I just made today, the cash flow one there, that's brand new today. And this one really does spell it out, right? This one really does spell it out. Procedure, how to use that tool. Okay. Let's see here. Let's take a look. The script. Okay. So you got here in the script, step by step, how to move a person from the 777 giveaway into the $3,000 a month giveaway with them bringing in one person. And then by day number 8, what do? You know what I'm saying? It's spelled out here in this video. Okay.
Well, maybe you could
3
add
minutes
a
long.
quiz and make sure they understand.
I
You know what I mean?
agree.
Like,
That's what turns it
yeah.
into a course. It's the quizzes that turn information into a course, right? So that's what this turns into. So this just becomes like a part of. So
We will give you
all these things just become like a part of. And the other thing, I do want people to realize that, they're in a trap. You know what I'm saying? And if they can only know that they're in a really serious trap, that ultimately the agenda of the trap is transhumanism, that what we need is a world that's built on love, not fear. Really, this trap is all about fear, by the way. What keeps people in the trap is fear. Okay. So once people realize that if you make your choices, based on fear, it's taking you down the path of transhumanism. You're going to end up there. Okay. Yeah, all these different things, there's lots, if you look at the 2 weeks, there's plenty of stuff that's out here new. When you see short ones, right? The ones, even this one, the selling hurts, it's 11 minutes, but it's, the important one. But these short ones, like the 6 minute one here, 1 minute there, 3 minutes, these are little parts of what I'm putting together for the course. Okay. So the course will be interactive in the sense that it's not just text only where you got to read it like a boring picture book with no pictures in it.
I mean, that should eliminate a lot of people if they're not willing, right there. That should eliminate, anybody who, has different vision or goals. So,
Right. It's not so much that we want to eliminate people. Maybe we want to move them in our, so sometimes in order to move someone, you got to get onto the same, you know, common ground, right? So if you want to move someone, you get on common ground first. Then there's a little bit of a swaying, right? And you may have like different points of view. So you consider their point of view, they consider your point of view. Then you start getting into like the serious questions, and then through the answers to those serious questions, you start to move a person down a path, right? And that's kind of the point of a course, is to get people to, we want to, first let them know that we're interested in the same things that they're interested in, i.e., do they have a need for cash flow? Do they have a need to get out of debt? Do they have a need for better retirement? We know that that's what their needs are. We speak to that, and then take them through that and say, look, we got a solution for you. It starts with a giveaway, soft and easy, and that leads into then team building, and then that ultimately leads into long-term wealth creation as well. So, yeah. So to me, it's the course is not something that someone's going to knock out in a day. It's going to take time, and then
yeah, no,
part of the course is that they got to
Yeah.
get to know their people above them, their sponsor, the sponsor of the sponsor, and another person above that. So they should get to know there, and then part of the grading process comes from them. So it isn't completely automated, but actually input coming from judgments coming from the people above that person, that because that's how they interact, right? Because if we can spot a bad actor before they're too entrenched, it would be a good thing for everyone, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, we want people that are going to show up in a bad way to gently get them out of the way before they're too deeply entrenched into what we're doing here.
Yeah, we
We
don't
got
want people that are going to come in and just sell their coins.
Yeah, exactly. That's
yeah.
one thing for sure.
Right.
Yeah. And that's it. Wealth creation is not overnight, so therefore, no. The whole point of a 1 year program to be a co-founder is that you shouldn't be considering selling in that first year anyway, right? You take a year to accumulate, right? That's kind of the point of it. Yeah, many in the community have failed to see that, and so we're dealing with those people that it's not the majority, by the way. The majority is on the long-term side of things. It's just a very aggressive minority, a small group who have been very, very aggressive, like, just like emptying their wallets, right? Just, and making big gouges on the charts. And it's unfortunate, but there's those people. We would have been better off without them. But there's definitely a path forward. Talking to the Wells about those options. So if you're a well, reach out to me. If you want to be a well, reach out to me. Either way, we have ways to move forward. And as a well, your input is very much I'm interested in it, and so on. Okay. But yeah, that's true, Mary. We are building a course. So I just laid another brick down today with that new video, the cash flow video. That's going to be a good one. You'll use that a
Well,
lot,
thank
I'm
you.
sure.
Yeah, thank you. Yep.
You're welcome. Okay. All right. And so we got our pizza hat on today. For what reason, Hunter? What are we celebrating?
So Bitcoin reached a major market capitalization, and in terms of market cap, it actually became worth more than Google, or rather its parent company Alphabet, earlier today.
Wow.
So Bitcoin is the sixth most valuable asset in the world, going by market cap.
Okay. Well, that's worth putting the pizza hat on, I would say. That's huge. So the
Yep,
granddaddy, the
and
grandfather of everything we're doing here in pool funding is Bitcoin, kind of the OG, the original concept of what we're also keen to promote. And that is something that's decentralized and governed by the people for the people, yeah, that's
Yes,
what we're
indeed.
all about. So,
And yep. And for everyone hearing my voice right now, if you don't have at least a little bit of Bitcoin, then I highly recommend you go ahead and fix that as soon as possible.
yep, it looks like it's been consolidating to, make another run, another bull run, right? So
Yep, it's getting there. It's getting there.
let's take a minute to speculate on Bitcoin for a moment, since it's just fun to do that, Um, let's see here. On my chart, I got plenty of lines going on here, but I've had these lines for a while. So this triangle, we broke out of it right there. So it broke to the upside. So that's what the good sign is here. Once it gets above this line here, it's just open air after that,
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah, up until this line. Yeah, I mean, we're open air till probably about 125. So yeah, once it makes a new high, probably the next level of resistance will be 125,000. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
it tends to push through open air really fast.
Yep, and I have feeling we'll see it reaching much higher market caps and much higher prices before too long. The first time it reached 100K was definitely breaking a bit of a psychological barrier there, definitely. So
I
the
did get
pathway
a
from
little nervous right here when it broke below this particular support level there. That was a very strong level of support right there. And when it broke down right there, I was getting nervous because that was big open air all the way down here to 85,000. But it just bounced itself right out of there, So if
oh
if
yeah,
anything, it pulled the spring back, further, right? Like the further you pull the spring back, the more bounce it's going to have going up, right? So
right,
the spring is loaded. So yeah, I'd
Yep,
say
the
the
go ahead.
consolidation looks very bullish. I would agree.
Agreed. The pathway from here to 1 million is very much shorter than what people might think.
Well, that's true
So
too.
definitely.
Yeah, yeah. You think of how long it took Bitcoin to go from, its opening price to its first, to $1,000 high. That was a big deal when it hit $1,000 for the first time. And I caught
Yep.
it like after that. So that's back in 2013 is when I caught it. And I remember the first time I bought into it, I was buying in around $600 per coin. And then it kept going down. It went all the way down to like $150 a coin, And then it went up. So it's got the tails to tell. Anyway, that's good, guys. So we're excited about where we're going. Open the chat here. All right, yeah. So a lot of positive things. Hunter's been busy in the chat. And so suggestion from Gregory Hunter, maybe teach a little chart reading, right? The technical analysis. So that'd be something good for Crypto Cove. It's not a bad suggestion there, Greg. So
Yeah, I could do that for the tokens.
Only because I was looking at that like, how in the world are those guys interpreting that?
yeah, I've abused that particular aspect of that software. It allows 50 lines. I used them all, but it took me
Yeah, I
several
was
months to build that in.
Yeah, I was about to say Ace's chart definitely looks like spaghetti. I
Yeah.
know quite a few traders that have charts like that, but that's definitely abusing that to the fullest. I'll say that much.
I posted that one time on the Wall of Joy, and someone returned with, "Man, that's got more lines on it than a hooker in front of cocaine or something like that." Like, Columbia. Like, okay. Anyway,
Well, they weren't
yeah, a
wrong.
lot of lines on my charts there, but anyway, I'm a hobbyist, if you will, when it comes to that. All right, so that's it, guys. Thank you all for coming to another one of our co-founder trainings. we went all over the place today, but that's good. It's a Monday. Why not? We want to make sure that we're, meeting all of your concerns and questions, and of course, I do a lot of one-on-one, and so I look forward to spending one-on-one time with many of you between now and the next time we get together for a training on Thursday. So reach out to me on Telegram, especially if you're a well or you want to be a well. Reach out to me. This is the right time to be talking to me because we have several things to talk about when it comes to everything. And with regards to pool funding, your input is very valuable at this stage. Okay. All right, that's the final thought. And with that, we'll go ahead and have everybody unmute and say bye for now. See you later.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Thank
Hasta
you, Ace.
luego.
Bye for now.
Thanks, Ace.
Thanks, Hunter. Goodbye,
Bye
everybody.
for now.